Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Holy cow. So, breathe. Just breathe. So earlier, I talked with you guys this morning, and I had told you guys what the stuff that was going on, and that we found a place that will take our 1977 Itasca RV, and we got a hold of them and talked to them about the situation and whatnot. There was a little bit of a hiccup, and that was that we had to pay for it, the space, to guarantee the space for the month of March. We needed to make that payment either today or tomorrow because they only had 4 slots available. And so, hi Charlie. So there was only 4 available spaces left, and they couldn't guarantee me that I'd be able to pay. Hi Lauren. That there would be a space available if I waited until March 1st. Hi Kelly. And so I kind of went into like a panic. I went ahead and called a couple people that I know to see if anybody could help us out. Nobody was able to, even though I can pay that money back. So I was like racking my brain. I went through like everything else. And then I said, you know what? Then let's set up a GoFundMe. As much as I hate the thought of doing GoFundMes, because if anybody knows me, they know that I'm not a fan of those. But seeing as we tried all our other avenues, I went ahead and set it up. Taylor, my son, happened to see that, and I did an Instagram live to explain the GoFundMe. And Taylor called me, and he paid for our RV space. So he went ahead and he's like, I went ahead and talked with a couple of the guys here, and he had a laptop computer that he bought a little while back when he first was stationed where he's at. And he's like, I don't use it because I ended up buying the PC. He's like, so I don't use the laptop. It's literally just sitting in a laptop bag. It hasn't been touched. And so I told him, I said, you sold your laptop? And he's like, Mom, it's not being used, so I'm not selling something that I need. He sold it and paid for our RV space. And I'm blown away. I told him I'll pay him back. He said not to worry about it, but the mom and me will probably end up giving him the money back on the 28th, because holy crud. That right there alone is like a huge I can breathe moment. Because when I talked to them today, I was like, well, darn it, where are we going to take the RV if we don't what happens if we don't have the money now and we get the money, like when I get paid on the 28th and I take it over there and they've already booked all their spaces, then we're literally going to be living in the RV with no hookups. And that would mean having to take the RV outside of city limits to be able to run the generator. Because the generator that's in her right now is outside of city decibel units, so we cannot run it in the city because it's an older RV. We do plan on getting a new generator for her, which is in the DPI regulations. But as of right now, because everything's going on, we wouldn't be able to do that until after we kind of settled in and had a couple months to get everything saved up. So, hallelujah, we have a paid for RV spot that takes the 1977 with no problems. I'm so happy. Like, I can breathe a bit. So, I will be sharing with you guys a very sweet video that I'm putting together of Penny. We picked up her ashes today. And I will show all that to you guys later. I know. You know what, Sherry? Like, I know. Yeah, like, seriously. There's times where I want to kick him in the butt because he can be so obnoxious and sometimes he just doesn't like listen. And then he turns around and he does something like this that just shows that somewhere along the way I did things the right way, and he has a heart of gold. And that just proves that. I had tried to call him earlier. Yeah, you're right, Sherry. You're right. I had tried to call him earlier to tell him what was going on, but he was doing, I guess they have tasks and stuff they have to do when they're not in class. So they have to be like either like the worst way of putting it, but like generic form hall monitoring or whatnot, dorm monitor, stuff like that. So they take shifts, and so he was busy doing that, and so he happened to see the live stream and gave me a call and told me what he did, and I was just like, oh my god. So I am super at this moment thankful that that's done. And I couldn't be like, I'm my brain and my heart today are so exhausted. My emotions are so exhausted that here in just a few, I'm gonna go take a really hot bath and pour the last glass of wine, because there's like one last glass of wine left in the bottle. I'm going to pour that glass of wine, and I'm gonna go take a hot bath and try to relax for at least a little bit. Allie was on my Instagram live, but we were just talking on Facebook, and she said, enjoy as many baths as you can. But here's the cool part. The RV has a full-size bath in it. So once we're all hooked up and actually in an area where we're on a hookup, like with water and stuff, I can take as many baths as I'd like in the RV, because I have a bathtub, and most RVs don't have that. Right? I'm definitely going to do that. I've got a couple things left in here to do real quick. Like, I have a huge mess of everything pulled out. Like, it's a huge mess in here. I've got, like, these are the Christmas lights from the little Christmas tree that I had in here. That's the doggy bowl. That was Penny's. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. That was Penny's bowl. Sarah's nebulizer, which she used the other night. And then that is every ounce of laundry that I own. So that's got my little blankets, like literally every ounce. Like I took everything out of the closet that I'm going through. So that's my goal right now. As soon as I finish this up, my goal is to go through all my laundry real quick. And I'm not even kidding. Well, there's a bunch of blankets in there too. So I have my blankets that are going in the RV, but in that, there's so many clothing items in there that just don't fit me anymore. Like I've lost so much weight that they just don't fit. And I need laundry, like I need clothing. So you guys haven't even seen, like I haven't even shown you guys this. I don't even know if I'll be able to, but let's try to turn this way. Oh my goodness, this thing is like it's gonna fall over. Don't let it fall over. Okay. First of all, let me pull these up, but I have lost so much weight, you guys. Like, I've lost tons of weight. So if anybody's curious, and anybody's wondering, I am way tiny. I'm only 5 foot. Oh, let's put that back. I am only 5'1", okay? So, I am 5 feet tall, and I weigh at this time. I'll explain it. One thing is, wasn't very healthy. 2, there are changes I made now that I am now that I'm like seeing a doctor for the medical aspect. I made some huge changes food-wise and stuff like that, and I'm going to explain that here in a second. But I'm 113, so if anybody wants to know, I'll give you the numbers. Though numbers don't really matter, but I am 113 pounds. So if anybody's curious, so I'm 5 foot, 5'1", 113 pounds. So I'm nowhere near obese, and I'm also nowhere near too skinny. Oops, that was all the little extra computer stuff. So there's that. Anywho, weight loss wise, I was diagnosed in October. It would have been October because I had to leave work in November. October was when, after all my testing and being in the hospital from getting very ill and could not figure out what was going on with me, after everything got put together, the doctor told me, and officially in my official records, that I have lupus. So a lot of times, like, I do pictures with filters on, because I have a lot of red blotching. I don't right now, because I am doing okay, but with all this stress this week, I'm so afraid I'm gonna have a flare up. But I ended up with blotches on my face, on my neck. I thought at first that they were hives and that I may be allergic to something. And this is all while I was working. I couldn't eat. Every time I would try to eat, I got really, like, violently ill. I would get the shakes just from trying to eat something. I'd take like a bite or two and I would violently get shaky, would get very, very sick. And so I lost quite a bit of weight in that aspect. But that was where I lost a huge chunk of weight, was in a very short time. Prior to that, I had started, because I've been working with a nutritionist for well over a year and a half now. And we did some things to change, like, lifestyle wise, some habits that I had. And one of the biggest things I did is I started intermittent fasting. And so I have an 8-hour window in the day that I eat. So from noon to 8 p.m. I have my meals. And then from 8 p.m. until noon the next day, I don't eat anything. I drink water during that window. I don't have anything other than water during that window. And then during my feeding, like my food time, my eating time, I will drink water and Gatorade. And then I just eat like my regular kind of diet. I do not, and I'm really, really picky about this, I do not eat any processed foods, other than if like once a week, when we can, we'll go out to eat. And I'm really, really picky about what I eat when I go out. As you guys already know, I don't eat beef. Not because I don't like beef, because I absolutely love a good steak. But with beef, for some reason, we have found that is one of my major migraine triggers. So we just avoid it. And I get proven every time, too, that whenever I try to eat something with beef, I pay the consequence for it. So that's a just leave it off the plate kind of thing. Where'd you guys go for dinner? And so I eat things like, mostly, my diet mostly contains vegetables, some fruits. Usually have a fruit in the morning or for my breakfast. So at noon, I usually do an overnight oats with a fresh fruit. So whether it be strawberries or sliced up peaches, Texas Roadhouse, nice. And then like a lunch, I usually, for my lunches and my snacks, are something like my lunches will be like a salad, like a caprese salad. So with some mozzarella cheese, some beautifully sliced Roma tomatoes, because those are my favorite, and then fresh basil, and then you do a little bit of olive oil on there with some salt and pepper. Good to go. Some days I'll throw in avocado, because avocado is really good for protein. And then I will, like my snacks, I love munching on like nuts and raisins. Raisins are one of my favorite things. So like a nuts and raisins mix. And then during dinner time, I'm a huge fan of like steamed broccoli, steamed rice, and fish. I am a big fish eater. But if it's, because I only do fish twice a week, because you don't want to overdo it, because of like you can end up hurting yourself like with mercury counts and stuff like that. So you have to be really careful with what type of fish and when, like how often you eat it. Otherwise, my dinner will consist of something more towards the vegetarian side. Not on purpose, just because that ends up being the meal that I end up picking. Ends up containing no meat, but will contain a protein. So like if I decide to do like a really hearty salad, it'll have like nuts within the salad. I can't even talk. Preferably something like cashews And almonds are some of my favorites. So like sliced up almonds into a salad is really, really good. And I really like salads that contain arugula and spinach for dinner time, not during my salads for lunch. I try to do a little more of a lighter salad. Arugula and spinach are a little bit heavier. But that's kind of what happened. So my dietary changes were like a lifestyle change. So that's been over a year ago now. January was a year that I started doing intermittent fasting. And the first like few days was super, super hard. Do the salads, then pasta. Yeah, pasta is still one of my favorites, by the way. So I still do things like if I do a pasta, I'll do like the egg noodles, and I'll do those with like what do they call that stuff? A pesto, a basil pesto, and it is so good. And I really, hey, yeah, I'm back. Hey Jeff, how are you? So I also really, really love doing mushroom avocado or mushroom ravioli. So I'll do a mushroom ravioli with a vodka sauce. And vodka sauce is so good. It's like a light, creamy, orange colored sauce. And it is, because it's a creamy tomato-based sauce that is delicious. And that right there is, that is another vegetarian style meal. It is so good. So you can do really hearty, solid meals, but still be, on the healthier side. So that's what I do. And I try to avoid eating anything that have a ton of, like, my calorie count, I don't care. I don't even count calories. And I definitely do not care, like, for me, I'm not a big sugar sweets kind of person, but every now and again I will have something sweet. So every now and again I'll have an ice cream, and whatnot. We're doing okay, Chris. Taylor just did the most amazing thing, and I thought I should share that with everybody because I did open a GoFundMe earlier this afternoon and turned around now. It is closed. I deactivated it. No donations went in, so that I guess is a plus. But we deactivated the GoFundMe because we found out that we needed to make the payment either today or tomorrow to guarantee our spot for the RV park. Because they can hold it they can hold a reservation for 48 hours without payment, and then you need to pay it to guarantee it. And so we made the reservation, and so I was like, we got to figure this out. Taylor ended up paying for it. Got home from karate. Nice. So my son is absolutely an amazing human. I did something right in my parenting, whatever the case might be. But anyway, he paid for our RV space. So we are guaranteed, we have a place to go now on the 1st of March to take the RV. And we got the space we booked has full hookups. Thank you, Kelly. And so I am super thankful. And I talked with Allie earlier. So Allie, if you get a chance to see this. And she made me feel really, really good with her comments about Danny, and how she's happy that Danny is in a great home with me, and that my cousin adopted Rainy. So the girls will be able to hang out together when we all go fishing and get out together. So at least the pups will have play dates together. We don't live very far from each other because now that we know where his new house is that he bought, we're pretty darn close to each other. So we'll be able to go over and hang out and let the puppies play together. It's fantastic. And like he said, if he had hookups, Tonks is doing as good as an old man can do. Poor Tonks. I'm going to laugh at this because it's not funny actually, but my poor dog. Tonks has never been one for car rides, right? He hates car rides. He gets so stressed out when we get in the car. Even if we're just going down the road to take him to the river, he gets so stressed out. So we did a test run with the dogs in the RV so we could do a test run overnight to see whether or not we'd be able to take Godric. We have determined that's not going to happen. Poor Tonks, though. We got in it. He was curious. He wanted to check it out. He doesn't mind, right? Yeah, you're right, Jeff. And so it's coming to Pencil. Oh, nice. And so we got him in there. And of course, because I have to make sure, like we're doing a test run, we have to make sure that we do all the ins and outs. And I started up the engine of the RV. And needless to say, if Tonks could have, he would have gotten out a window. He did not like the fact that that thing has an engine in it. He knows damn well what an engine is and that it means that this thing is going to move. And he was not happy about it. But once I turned the engine off, once the engine was off, he was totally relaxed. He was fine. So once we're parked and we've got the RV situated, we'll then come back and get the dogs. So we're not trying to drive across to the other side of town, which is 20 minutes drive from here, to take him to our RV space. Oh, yeah, I know, right, Chris? You're like, unfortunately, I have to wait. So Godric is definitely a no-go in the RV. If you were here in the live stream earlier, we had somebody show up to do our spray for our yard, to do the pest spray. And Godric lost his noodle, as usual. Even while being in here, he could hear the guy outside and was going nuts. That is what we deal with on a constant basis with him. When we had him in the RV, our neighbors were outside talking, and Godric's just barking and barking and barking and barking and barking because he could hear people outside the wall. So in an RV park, if any of you have ever been to an RV park, I know, right? Sarah's doing really good. She's working. She's actually in the shower right now. She's working. She has the night off tonight due to having some severe blisters that need soaking. The doctor was like, nope, do not walk around on those feet. Yeah, exactly. He's like, whoa, why is our house moving? Can we not? Tonks does not like being mobile. He's going to have to get over that real fast, little old man. But Danny does really good in there. We even had Rainy in there when we were doing the test run. So does Winnie Bear. They do great. Danny could care less. She's such a, like, when she first gets playing and whatnot, she's kind of riled up. But then once she's kind of, you know, when her energy goes down, Tonks is 8. He's 8 years old. He'll be 9 this year, which is like the top end of his breed's expected lifespan. So he is senior at this point, like super senior at this point. He's really arthritic at this, like now to the point he doesn't even jump up on the bed anymore. He used to jump up here and lay down with me at night. He doesn't even try. He doesn't get on the couch anymore. It's too much on his hips to try to do it. But then he has like these really wacky days where he's running around like he's a puppy. And then he pays the consequence. Later that night I watch him move very, very stiff. His movements get to where he grunts when he tries to move. He'll even whimper sometimes trying to lay down. No, he's not that old. We got him when he was a 8-week-old puppy. And he was like this big. And now he is 8 years old and almost 9. So he'll be 9 years old this year. So he's an old boy. Need to go have a great night. Get the glass of wine and congrats. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kelly. You have a great night. So yeah, as soon as Sarah's finished with her shower and stuff, I'll go in there after I finish going through all this. You have a joke? Oh gosh, Chris. What's your joke? After I go through these clothes, because I need to go through these and take what I'm taking to donation, and then I need to, I'm going to wash everything again, even though 90% of that's washed. I'm going to wash everything again that I'm keeping and putting it on hangers to put in the RV. So that way I can see like where we're at space-wise. Sarah has a 3-compartment thing up above her bed area. What is a dog's favorite pizza? Oh gosh, this is gonna have something to do with the like dogs. So pepperoni. I'm gonna guess pepperoni because it's the only one I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm probably nailed that, but I don't know. Ow, that's like total dad joke mode right there. Dang it. So I think I heard one like that on Charles Trippy's channel on CTFXC, when he was doing the dad jokes through the pregnancy, to leading up to Remy being born. Remy being born. I think that was one of the ones he told. Yeah. So, yeah, poor Tonks is not a fan of vehicles moving. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to make him feel a little more secure. Like if we do move the RV from one place to another, that he doesn't like lose his noodle. What did the lightning say to the rain? I don't know. Actually, I don't know that one. But yeah, Godric is not going with us. And we still haven't heard back from the other people. Stop stealing my thunder. Nice. That's a good one. So Winnie Bear's fine in there. She just gets up on the couch area and just relaxes like it's no big deal. And as long as she's got Sarah with her, she's totally chill out, like right next to Sarah. So we'll be fine on that aspect. Like I said, Danny doesn't even care. She's a puppy, so to her it doesn't even make a big deal. I take her in the car all the time right now to get her used to traveling. I tried that with Tonks when he was a puppy, and he would just puke all over my vehicle. So keeping the jokes G-rated, right? Sorry I keep messing with my hair, but it's like totally frizzing out. And the minute I stop, it starts to go staticky again. So it's like clinging to me, and it's driving me bonkers. Yeah, Tonks is, I feel bad because I know that he's not a fan. So as long as we are parked for now, we'll get the RV all parked and set up, and then I'll come back and pick him up. He's already going to be mad that I'm putting him in the car to take him. It stresses him out. So hopefully with the car ride being too stressful and then him getting into the RV and it's stationary and set up, he'll be okay. He doesn't mind going out there. Like I'll take him out there right now and he'll get in the RV without a problem. It's whenever I have him in there and I start the RV up, he bolts for the door and it's closed, of course. And he goes into like the panic mode. Like he's trying to figure out which way do I go? Instead of just like laying down. So I got his nice comfy bed in there and stuff. I'm probably going to bring this kennel. Tonks is a Carolina dog. If you want to look them up there. It's called a Carolina dog. We got him specifically for the breed, for the reason that we got him. Because their breed is known for being timid and slightly shy, but extremely protective of their pack. So they have a tendency to be a little bit more skittish and shy, but if you threaten their environment, they are very tenacious. And so that was the reason we got him. It was after our other dog, Zeus, had been killed due to people feeding him antifreeze-laced dog food so that they could access our yard. And so, no, he's not even close to Golden Retriever. No, he's got ears that stand straight up like satellite dishes. I remember when he was a puppy and watching his ears go through their little funny stages before finally standing up. And he had one stage where he was probably about 4 months old and his ears stood up and they were twice the size of his head. And he looked so funny. I have a picture somewhere of him as a baby with his, like as a pup with his ears standing up, and they were massive. And we used to laugh going, oh my God, those satellite dishes on his head are hilarious. And then at about 6 months, they flop back over from being so big and heavy. They flop back forward. And then roughly about, when he was about a year, a little over a year, they started to stand up again. And they stayed up after that. But it was really funny when he was just a baby, seeing them stand up on top of his head. And they were just these ears on top of his head. I was like, what the heck? But we ended up naming him Tonks after Ted Tonks from the Harry Potter books, because he was known to be able to look like multiple things in any given few moments. Now, his daughter Nymphadora in the books can also transfigure into different things. However, her transfiguration is done in the books anyway. In the movie, they didn't do it, but in the books, she does it through like copy paste. So if she sees the object, she can morph into it, where Ted can do so just on wheel. whose head is so small that I can fit my whole hand. Or yeah, I know a person like that. I've got a tiny little head too, though. Like, I have a tiny head and like little tiny hands. Like, when I buy baseball caps, I have to go to the children's section to buy baseball caps because adult hats don't fit me. They're just too big. Like, even snapbacks, adult snapbacks look ridiculous on me because my head is so small. Even when I was working at my other employment, they gave me a hat, and everybody got the giggles the first time I put it on because it just was so big on me. But I had to wear it because it was part of the job. And they didn't make children's size hats for the workplace. So, yeah. So I have a tiny little head, and I get picked on about it all the time. And my hands are super, super small. And so Sarah always gets the giggles. And my feet are really tiny. Went to look at some sandals the other day, and I had to get another half size down because when I lost weight in my feet too, apparently. And so I wear a size 5.5 shoe. So I'm tiny. Like, most people don't realize how tiny I am until they meet me, and then they're like, "Oh my God, you're so little." Yeah, I'm fun sized. Wow, yeah. I met one person like that back when I was in school, like in high school. They had like literally the smallest little head. Yeah, it's funny because I have a big dome of a head. Yeah. Right? I just don't. Like, I have the tiniest noggin in the world. And everybody else around me has like normal sized heads, and here I am with a pea head. But then again, I am small, so my head fits my body size. It's just that I'm small. So, even when I weighed more and I was on the larger side of things, I was still small. So people that met me were just like, "Wow, you're so tiny." Now I've got my family and stuff going, "Oh my gosh, what the heck?" Because I dropped a ton of weight, and so it made me look, well, at first when I first started losing the weight, it was kind of like slow and steady, right? And then I got sick, like super sick. And it had come, like, I've been getting that on and off for years with getting really, really sick and having those same symptoms, but couldn't place it. Just figured I'd maybe drained myself or stressed myself or whatever. We thought maybe I had that one condition where, like, if, like, no matter how much rest you get, your body isn't recovering or whatever. Another friend of mine has it. I don't remember what it's called. But 6'5", geesh. You guys are tall. So for me, that's what I kind of thought it was. Maybe it was just that, that it was just that my body just was having trouble recovering from stress and not sleeping and whatever. And that's been going on for years. And so I just kind of chalked it up to it just being part of everyday living. But this time around, it got really severe to the point that I dropped like 30 pounds all in it was like a 4 or 5 week window. And my doctor went, "Whoa, you stop for a minute. What the heck's going on?" I got scared too because I had just bought new work pants because I knew that I needed to. And then those were way too big on me. Then then people at work started noticing. And then when I would be at work, I was noticing that I would have to stop and grab something because I felt like the whole room was just tilting over and that I was going to fall. I started to get super, super dizzy. Like, I felt like my body was literally starving to death. Because I would feel super hungry and I wanted to eat, and then I would eat and I would get violently sick from eating. Like, I'm not talking about vomiting sick. I mean, like, violent. Like, my stomach muscles would go crazy. All my muscles in my abdominal area, my legs, everything would cramp. Anytime I tried to eat, I didn't have those cramps and stuff if I wasn't eating, but as soon as I tried to eat anything, my body was like absolutely not having it. And then I ended up at the hospital because I ended up in like a significant amount of pain and I couldn't figure out what was happening. I thought for sure I was having like a full blown like anxiety panic attack or whatever. And they thought it was my gallbladder. And when they did scans and everything, like all the scans, and then I did like 3 different scans, and it came back that I didn't have any gallstones. the previous time I had a gallstone that was able to be like, my body they gave me this medicine and that worked to get rid of that, and that was a while back, like 3 years ago. Um, my one friend is 11. Damn, yeah, that sucks being blind. I couldn't. That's yeah. I don't know about that, but it was just, it was excruciating pain. And finally, being in the hospital, the doctor ran all these tests on me. I had a bunch of stuff done. Got home, trying to recover from doing all the tests. Ended up back at the hospital for more blood work, for more like further evaluation, and then ended up staying 3 nights at the hospital due to the fact that I was in so much pain. I literally, like, I couldn't bear it. So they had to give me stuff to take the edge off the pain. And so I ended up staying there. And then my doctor ended up evaluating some more information. And that's when she came back and said, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Every symptom, everything that's going on with you, your body is fighting itself. Something's in there that is not happy with you. And that's when she said, I'm almost certain that you have lupus. But it is a very, on my end, it's a very mild case, or a very mild form, or a very mild flare-up. Now, she said, don't take it as in, oh, great, I'm going to be fine. I don't have it as severe as someone else, because that's not the case. Lupus can come in several different ways. It can present itself several different ways. And it can be, your flare-ups can be more severe, and they can also be really mild depending on your body and the reaction your body has. So at that time, I was having what she called a mild flare-up. I do not ever wish to know what a severe, hard flare-up is, ever. Because if that was mild, I don't even know. All I know is that mild flare-up was extremely painful. I literally thought I was dying. I was terrified. And I don't even wish to know what it is any further from that. I do think I am headed for a mild flare-up if I don't get myself together, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't, like, get my stress level down with everything that's happened in the past week and a half. That scared me, because I kept thinking, oh my gosh, this stress level right now is sending me into that same sensation. I'm getting nauseous when I think of food. I tried to eat and my stomach and my legs hurt. The past week, my skin has been on fire again, which is one of the things I can't stand when I had that flare-up, was feeling like my skin was burning from underneath. And nothing I did got rid of that sensation. And I've been having that sensation in my skin again, and I don't want to head that route. So like I said, tonight, I'm going to take a hot bath with one of my Lush Bombs from Christmas and my last glass of wine. I'm going to lay back and I'm going to relax, forcibly relax, and try to realize that we have a lot of stuff done already. Now our next step is to just get the storage unit. So everything else is done. I need to not worry anymore. RV space is paid for. We're going to go park it up when we get there. I've got my taxes done, so that stress is gone. It's finished. The taxes are filed. I've got to get this done. I need to go pay for the storage unit and then start packing it up in the car, all the smaller stuff, and get it into the storage unit ASAP. Get everything just put away. And just whittle down what we have here. Get the RV packed up with everything that's going in the RV, and then be done. Because that's it. Like, that's our last bit. Just get the RV packed together, get everything else in storage. I want to do a yard sale, because we do have quite a few things that we can do in the yard sale. Anything that we don't sell in the yard sale, I'm probably going to do it not this weekend. We're going through everything, but next weekend. Bye, Chris. We're going to do the yard sale next weekend, and anything we don't sell in the yard sale is going to get taken to probably Goodwill. This way, anything that we're keeping is going into the storage unit or into the RV. So we have an RV pile, a storage unit. Hi, Purple Master. So Purple. Hi, Purple. So anything that's going in the RV, so we have piles. We have an RV pile, a storage pile, a what I call the donation / yard sale pile. So anything that's going in the yard sale, anything that doesn't get sold during that weekend is going to go donation. And then we have the trash pile. Oh, it's Amani. Hi, Amani. Elizabeth. We're doing good. I'm actually going to get off here because I am going to, as soon as Sarah is done, she's almost finished in there, I'm going to go take a hot bath because it is needed. Excuse me. But yeah, so I am also putting together and editing a video that I have of Penny. It's, if you don't feel like crying, I would say probably not watch it. But it is going to yank at your heartstrings. Yeah, hot baths, yes. So I'm going to do that because this has been like 2020 has started off with a serious blow to the gut. It's like I walked into 2020 and got sucker punched. So like almost like I wasn't welcome in 2020. It has not been a good start to this year. And I'm ready to be done with it. But this is just the start of the year. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that from here forward, we will not have all of the, like, I want the rest of this year to just take a damn chill pill. Because I honestly don't think, like, physically that I could handle another loss or another setback or any of that. I honestly mentally don't think I can handle it. Financially, we're fine. We're absolutely fine, which the good part about being in the RV for the next couple months is going to be putting money away that we can use to buy a property. Yes, I decided to come on to here. Allie. I had to let everybody know because not everybody that's on Instagram is on YouTube and not everybody on YouTube goes to my Instagram. So I wanted everybody to know that about Taylor and how flipping amazing of a kid I have. And that 2020 sucks and it's rude and it likes to hit people and it's not nice. Yeah, I hit my quota. So there you go. I have a witness. I have witnesses. I've hit my quota of bad luck. Can we just not? Right? They say bads come in threes. I've gotten way more than my share of those. So I'm going to look at it and say we ended up with Penny, my uncle, my house, my boss. You know, can we not? Like, can we not? What? Yeah, it did. You're right. So, yeah, the start of 2020 my husband died and my clearance didn't come in from, oh no. Jeez. Yeah, see, and there you go. So we did get our goods in there. We've got Denali, who we shortened to Danny. When we play with her and talk with her, we call her Danny. So we have Danny. We had Penny for that very short time. It was crazy because we got her right before Christmas, and lost her in 2020. So that was a gut punch. So though I think the part that hit me hardest about Penny's loss was that we lost Penny, and the same exact day, right after we got home from saying goodbye to her, we got home and I got the call about my uncle. And like having two really important parts of me die on the same day, that was a mind screw. Then trying to process that, and Tuesday, because both of them died on Sunday, Tuesday, just 2 days later, to get pulled into a meeting for our housing place and get told, you guys have to move. you know, and then to find out Wednesday that my prior boss, the district manager, died in the parking lot of the other store from a massive heart attack. A man who was amazing, loved his job, and I talked about this earlier, who called me even after I left the job to ask me how I was recovering and how I was doing and if I was doing okay. And to lose him too, all in that same window. Yeah, it hits you. One, your mortality. Two, it tells you like there are so many more important things in life than like me worrying about the house. So like I wasn't worried about the house anyway. Like getting that letter, yeah, it sucked. Let me tell you what, I was super, super mad because it just was not the right timing. But they always say that the timing isn't on your part and you don't have control on that. What you have control on is what you do with information and where you go with it. New center, daycare, the job. I wasn't. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, heck yeah. The timing was miserable to hear that information with the other information. I'm thankful we have the RV and that I did buy the RV, even though I was told by so many people it was a stupid purchase. Not a stupid purchase. And if Sarah's able to get herself the apartment that she's looking into, I think it'll be really good for her if she and the other girl that she works with get the apartment together. If they get themselves one of the 2 bedrooms, I think that would be beneficial to her. If that's the case and she gets that, then I will more than likely stay in the RV for an extended time. I had already planned on doing that and then booking some photography stuff, travel-wise, distance-wise. So taking and traveling where I need to go to do some photography work. That would be the dream. I want to be in the RV full-time at some point. But I do also want to purchase a house to have a home base to come back to. So that's kind of the thing. That's why I don't want a big house. I don't need a big property. I just want to buy a small, cozy house that when I'm done doing some gigs and we kind of have a break in between, I can come back, we can unload things, unwind, just relax in my home and get some stuff done in town, have the kids visit, that kind of stuff. And then get back in the RV and go on the road again and go do some jobs and just, live, like live for real. Because staying right here in this town and living here in this town, there's nothing here. There's the river, there's the casinos, there's nothing here. And there's not really any activities here unless you're 21 and can gamble, or unless you're a multi-millionaire who lives in the big $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million houses on the river and you own boats and all that. There's really not much else to do other than boating and, watercrafting out on the Colorado or hanging out on the beach all day. That sounds all fun and stuff, but it's not a everyday kind of thing. I want to be out photographing, catching, images and catching life in action. That's what I want to do. That's a passion. That is something I've always wanted to do. I know I spoke with Allie a couple times about some of the things that go on photography wise, and I would hope I can do that style of photography here very shortly. And that would be amazing. I know that we have the rodeos that come through here, and so I've already put in to see if they would like a couple more photographers, because there is several places here in town that do photography for family photography. And then there is one guy that does go out and do photography for the rodeos. So I would love to go out there and also be one of the sign people to do the rodeo, because the rodeo is amazing. They always have a really big turnout for the rodeos out here. So they do the one here and then they do the one in Needles, and both of them always end up coming out and it's always so amazing. It's full of fun and festivities and booths, and I would love to get in there and do some photographs and sell those photographs. to the newspaper, to the rodeo themselves, for them to put in their rodeo, what they call it. It's like the rodeo newspaper, but there's a name for it. I forgot what it's called. It's something that was back in the day, an old name for what a newspaper used to be. But yeah, so that's kind of the vision. I had hoped that we were going to be going into the RV in June, because that was kind of our window, was what we were working on the RV, and that I had planned on moving into it in June, and then we were going to do some traveling, and then we were going to buy a house. That was the goal. We've kind of been doing a swift, fast kick in the rear end to get into it sooner. So instead of June, we're going into it for March. We won't be traveling just yet, because Sarah is working, but here we are. So Taylor paid for our RV space, so we're guaranteed our spot. And then when I get paid, I can actually pay another spot for the month of April. So that's awesome. And then when the summer months get here, which they start the summer months June and July, you can only pay for spots 2 weeks at a time. So we'll see how that goes when that time comes, but more than likely we won't need it. We'll probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, have found a property and finish closing during that time. So you guys are amazing. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna take a hot bath and drink a glass of wine and unwind for tonight, because I am so over these last 2 weeks. Tomorrow is Friday, and I have no idea what I'm going to do for tomorrow, other than we weren't able to get the water tank in today. We ran into a hiccup, and we need one more part, which we can go pick up in the morning. But we need one more piece that apparently had broken previously. We weren't aware that it was broken. So we got everything hooked up and realized that the one piece wasn't going to go on because it's missing a piece. And so tomorrow, finishing the install of the the water tank, and then we're good to go. So other than that, after that's done tomorrow, I'm going to literally do absolutely nothing else other than finish going through what we're going through in the house. So RV will be tomorrow's RV thing is water tank in, and then take a break from messing with it, because I have been in that RV every single day for a week and a half now. And I need to step back for a minute, take a breath before going back in. So you guys have a good night. See you later. Bye.